All right, lads, and welcome back to the Stogie Lads YouTube channel. Today we have an accessory review, something we haven't really done before, but it's in large part because we've been sent probably the most well-known and famous cigar accessory of recent times, just in terms of how different it is and how eye-catching it is. It's the Le Fin Lame Le Petit. So Le Fin Lame is a French company. They have redesigned the cutter in a very innovative style, but also in a very rudimentary style where it's a literal knife that folds in and out and cuts your cigars. So obviously this is very different from your standard dual blade cigar cutters. But it's also, back to the roots of human beings, because knives have been around forever, right? So it's using very basic techniques, using a standard knife blade, but also in a very innovative way. It is very beautiful looking, obviously very eye-catching. So this has made waves in the cigar community, both on social media and in real life. It looks very beautiful, but I think for that reason as well, people always wonder if this is actually useful, right? A lot of people ask if this is just a looker, if this is just pure design, and if the design itself goes in the way of use, or if not. Now, I also want to point out, before getting deeper into this is part of their new Compass series, where they have maps on the other side of the blade as a design. This has the outline of the map of Nicaragua, as you probably saw in the intro there. So you have a design of the map of Nicaragua and the seal right there of the or the emblem of the nation, obviously one of the most significant cigar producing nations right now. And the wood finish, or the wood, is a padauk wood, or padauk, I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's this beautiful red wood, a single piece of wood. It's not like painted or fake or anything. It's a really nice quality. These are very expensive. They're about 170 euros or 200 US dollars, which is kind of a lot for an accessory, but cigar smoking and the hobby itself is quite expensive. And what contributes to that price a lot is obviously the incredible materials. This blade is seriously sharp. It's like a very good quality blade. There's like a specification on what kind of blade it is, and it's very high quality steel. And it's wood. It's extremely well built. You can feel that in the quality, and it's all made in France, which obviously contributes a lot to the price as well. You get a high standard of quality there. Both the leather sheath and the knife and everything is completely made in France. The whole company is French. Le Fin Lame does mean the thin blades in French. To get into this, we're going to try out cutting a cigar with this, see how it works. I'll also show you guys how the cutting is and give a few thoughts to it. So before getting into that, though, I also just want to highlight how this works. So as you can see, it is the wood part, the whole handle, and then the blade. So that folds completely into the handle, making one piece. But then this little metal piece sticks out as well, which makes it very easy to just fold out. You can make it completely straight like this. Now you have a legit knife. I've used this to unbox some boxes recently, and it's ridiculously sharp. So you can use this as a normal knife. It's very easy to use to cut, and the blade is very sharp, so you kind of have to be careful. But that's another great reason to use this tool. It's just, it has another function other than just being a cigar cutter. But then, other than it just being a knife, obviously you can see the main design change they've made in this is this semicircle here, the cutout in the handle. And that's obviously for lining up your cigar and then flipping the blade as it does, lining up the cigar and then snipping the blade in the middle, and then the cigar cap will be cut off. And with this, I just wanted to say quickly, they also hooked us up with a leather sheath, also beautiful, genuine leather, handmade in France. So that's another great part of the accessory. It looks fantastic, easy for cutting and protecting an item of this quality and price. You want to keep it protected, so obviously this is a worthwhile addition. But now I've been blabbering about enough. I think you guys want to get to the cutting part, so I'm going to cut a cigar now. I'm going to see how this beautiful Le Fin Lame actually does with its main purpose, cutting cigars. And yeah, let's check that out, and I'll be back in a minute. All right, lads, so over this heavily used Stogie Lads cigar ashtray, you don't want a clean ashtray because that means you're not smoking cigars. But over that ashtray, we'll cut one of my favorite cheap-ish cigars, the Joya Red. one of my favorite, you know, budget cigars. And why not cut what used to be the national cigar of Nicaragua, Joya de Nicaragua, with the Le Fin Lam Nicaragua Compass series. Feels like a fitting homage. So the main key here, the only real like key with this cutter, is that you want to line up the cap of the cigar, the part where you're cutting, with the side of the logo. This side is a little tilted, and that, for some reason, lining it up here, I'm not like an expert with this kind of stuff, but lining it up here gives you an even cut. That's what you want to do. So over this ashtray here, I'm going to line it up here and show you guys really how it works. And a lot of people have been commenting, actually, we posted about this on the Instagram, and I did a kind of weak cut on there, to be honest. But a lot of people have been asking, you know, how well does it work? Is it just a looker? And is it awkward to use? Because it kind of seems awkward to use, but to be completely honest, it isn't. It's definitely not, you know, more comfortable than like this XO cutter where you press it and it kind of squeezes in your hand and you hold it like this. I think this cutter is actually very comfortable, and I'm just giving my complete honest 2 cents here. And another real benefit is that you can line up the cigar with extreme accuracy. So instead of cutting here and making that mistake of cutting way too much of the cap, which is a, you know, amateur mistake, you can line it up so you just get the cap. That is definitely harder to do in a cutter like this, where you can't really see how much of the cap you're lining up. So without further ado, for like the 14th time here, I am going to cut it here and line it up so it's just the cap. Then you can get it so that the cigar is cut and I can feel it, that it's lined up. And then with extreme ease, you get a cut that's actually just genuinely razor sharp. And you just get the cap, which is the best thing you can possibly do with the cigar. And I mean, that is a beautiful cut. That is an absolutely razor sharp cut. And it works so well. I don't know if it's just the sharpness of the blade or the mechanism, but like genuinely it's extremely sharp. It just goes through like butter, and it is very comfortable. Like, that is an actually genuinely very comfortable way to cut the cigar. This holds very well in the hand. So for me so far, this tool is a very big looker. Obviously, it's very beautiful design, but it's ergonomically actually very well built. And because of the extreme quality in the materials here, this doesn't just land at a level of it's a nice looking cutter, but it doesn't work. For me, this actually delivers like by a lot. It cuts really, really well. It cuts really sharply after cutting a few cigars now. It's absolutely beautiful. And for me, yeah, that's an A+ cigar tool. Obviously, this is going to be one of those things that if you can afford it, obviously everyone is at different levels economically. We don't really discuss that kind of stuff, because for some people, this is going to be very worth it. For some people, this is going to be extremely expensive. That's just how life is, right? But if you can afford it and you like the design, it's a no-brainer for me at that point, because it works so extremely well. And I really do want to highlight that, because I was one of those people that when I saw this initially, I thought, this is just a design piece, you know, like it looks so strange and different. How can it actually work well? But after trying it out several times now in my own hands, it doesn't just look and feel fantastic. It works fantastically well. So big thanks to Le Fin Lam for hooking us up with this. Again, we didn't get paid to say nice things. I wanted to give you guys my very genuine opinion as always, but I'm very impressed with how well this works, other than the obvious good design. So yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you guys learned a little about the Le Fin Lam cutter. And I will see you guys as always in the next one. Cheers.